What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Trench Grenade channel. I'm your host, the average level 3 holster enjoyer that your mom said that we have at home. Thanks for watching. Today I'm going to stir the pot a little bit and talk to you guys about duty belt setup and belt holsters and some stuff that's going to offend some of you, but that's okay. It's going to be out of a place of my experiences and my knowledge and all that fun stuff of 12 years active duty infantry, and some things that I've seen and some things you might want to take note of if it applies to you. Guys, before I get too far into it, post down below if you've ever seen a handgun come out of a holster because it was a Kydex holster with no retention system on the holster at all, and the individual was doing something that caused that handgun to come out of the holster. I look forward to reading those stories down below. If you haven't seen it, let me know if you've ever been nervous about your handgun coming out of the holster while you're doing a drill or while you're running on the flat range or hiking or whatever, okay? If you were running a Kydex holster with no retention system. Guys, there's going to be a bunch of links down below. If you use those links, it'll help the channel stay alive longer, okay? And it is important for the longevity, right? It's important for the longevity and for the engagement of the channel to be successful against the algorithm gods. So make sure you do all the things down below. Okay, so before I get into this, I am wearing a T-Rex Arms hat, and I am a T-Rex Arms fan. I run a T-Rex Arms sling. My IFAK is a T-Rex Arms IFAK. Love the company. But, however, if you're using a outside the waistband holster similar to some of the ones you might find at T-Rex that does not have a level 2 or level 3 retention system, you might be setting yourself up for failure, okay? I'll tell you a quick story. A individual showed up to a battalion shooting competition, right? It was teams of 5 or 6 per company, and they ran several series of events that included physical, challenges, like to have stress inoculation prior to the individuals having to engage. Now, I have seen M17s fly out of holsters before that did not have retention systems. So in the infantry, you're looking at a level 3 requirement, okay? A thumb hood and then a thumb brake, if that makes sense. Okay, so a hood over the top of the handgun on your Safariland, and then a thumb release on top of that, or below that, okay? So you defeat the hood, and then you engage the second safety. Now, it is going to be super important for you guys to hear this now, because I know a lot of you are probably running a Kydex-only holster. Now, I know in a lot of these companies, they give you the ability to be able to tighten the holster with the external screw, or with the screw. That way you can add, retention, or add a little bit of compression onto the handgun, so it's kind of like a pancake and it's holding onto the gun tighter. I've seen with those exact style holsters, I've seen seat belts as a good example. Guys try to get out, typically it'll be on the passenger side, and their pistol gets hooked by the seatbelt because they don't properly clear the seatbelt as they're getting out of the vehicle, and that handgun gets caught. If they're going carbine, right, and that handgun gets caught, and guess what? Now they've lost their handgun, okay? So if right now you are using a duty holster that does not have a retention system on it, I do not recommend it. Now, I do own, like I said, I do own a lot of, I think they're called Ironsides. The outside the waistband duty belt holster, I do own some from T-Rex specifically. They're awesome. They're awesome for a flat range, to just focus on the, the draw, the presentation. But however, if someone if someone wanted to get access to your handgun in a hands-on scenario, or if you were having to move a casualty, carry ammo, right? I've seen guys try to do ammunition, because we do a lot of PT events, right? Guys try to do a ammo can carry, and if they don't have the hood on their holster and something activates that handgun release, their handgun is gone, right? So the moral of the story is, if you're going to be doing anything that is overt, such as wearing a duty belt with a carbine and having your Glock in your in your duty belt, I do not recommend using just a Kydex only holster. That's gonna set you up for failure long term, because if you're doing literally anything that's active, I've seen holsters fly out on the range. Now, typically, holsters, I've seen handguns fall out while dudes are running on the range, but typically that's a user error, not a holster error. Typically the user has not tightened or added enough compression to that Kydex holster by tightening the screws and Loctiting it in place of the adjustment necessary. So over time it has come loose, and as they begin maneuvering, that handgun comes out. So those typically are a user induced issue, but that is why I recommend, okay, for you at home, if you're running a duty belt setup, you got your Ronin belt, whatever overt belt you have for kind of like a duty kit, if you're going to run it with your plate carrier, and you know you have your Glock or SIG or whatever you're running as your go-to handgun, well, the moment you start going hands-on, you're going to want a level 3 retention system, okay? You're going to want the hood on top, and you're going to want the thumb release after that. It's just it's necessary. It's fun to be able to access the handgun like super freaking quick. You know, you got your sub 1 second draw and, you know, first round on target. Cool, that's awesome. I'm not saying don't do that. And I'm also not, you know, I'm not advocating not to support companies like T-Rex, because like I said, I run T-Rex products all the time. A lot of my holsters are their, you know, inside the waistband stuff. That's fine. The reason why an inside the waistband Kydex only retention style holster is okay, because you're relying on that garment, okay? If you have that outer garment, you're relying on that to give you the ability of you know, surprise, right? So that way no one can see the handgun, and then you can access it quickly by after defeating that garment. So what we're mainly targeting here is duty belts. Duty belts should have a level 3 system. I look forward to reading your thoughts down below, guys. I've just seen, and I've seen too many incidents where guys are trying to run a Kydex holster that doesn't have a retention system, and they run into issues. A lot of it comes to treating casualties mainly, or in shoot houses. When you go into a shoot house, what we'll do in the infantry is we'll have 1 or 2 guys in there per room in like a vest or like a suit with a face shield on for the simunition, and we'll have them go hands-on. And what you'll see oftentimes, because that carbine is in the fight now, they both people are fighting over the carbine. Well, if that handgun isn't properly secured with a level 3 retention system, then that handgun's going to become useless because you've lost it during the scuffle, or the bad guy has it and they're going to execute you with your own handgun, right? So for realistic purposes, for realistic uses, I do recommend a real holster. There's Safariland. I know Alien Gear. Is it Alien Gear? Alien Gear is making a good level 3 retention that Mil-Spec Mojo has been advocating. I still run the old Safariland level 3. That's what I like. Safariland for me has been tried and true. I've used it for a lot of years. I've carried M9s, I've carried M17s, M18s, Glock 19s, and Glock 17s professionally. Okay, so 5 different handguns that I could think of off the top of my head: M9A1, M17, M18, Glock 17 Gen 2, Glock 19 Gen 5. Okay, so I've had 5 different holsters. They're all activated the same way: thumb down, thumb back, right? So thumb down for the hood, thumb back for the button. Most shoot houses or most shooting courses that you go to, because it'll be a hot range, cold range, so your handguns will be cold, i.e. unloaded. So as the instructor is giving the block of instruction for most of these courses, they tell you thumb down, thumb back, begin your presentation, reholster. Thumb down, thumb back, begin your presentation, reholster. So all you're doing is getting thousands of repetitions of defeating that safe or that retention system. That's what I back in Germany, this was like 2014. I probably got, I don't even know how many handgun draws, because they build it from handgun all day, rifle, handgun, rifle, or rifle to handgun, and then you introduce the shoot house. So all you're doing for a couple weeks straight is thumb down, thumb back, deactivating that Glock 17 from the retention, beginning your draw, slow reholster, hood back on. So then that's to build trust with the retention system, and that's to make you understand that they are still quick. It's just based on you learning the system, right? It's never going to be as fast as just reaching down, grabbing the handgun and pulling it out. But guess what else? is not as fast. You surviving in a shoot house or in any sort of scenario at all that requires you to actually wear the handgun on a belt system, a Kydex only system is just not it. Now, I just want to make sure I really state this. This is not to attack any of the companies. I know there's like Tier 1 Concealed. There's a bunch of companies that are making, you know, Kydex only holsters. They're doing a great thing. But for a lot of what they're making is for two purposes. Conceal carry, which is awesome, because like NSR Tactical makes an awesome Kydex only holster for inside the waistband. So NSR Tactical is awesome. T-Rex arms are awesome. Tier 1 Concealed is awesome. But that's for inside the waistband or for competition shooting, not for duty. Duty use, you need a Safariland or equivalent, you know, holster with a good retention system to actually make sure that handgun stays with you and you avoid any accidental or negligent discharge because it's a quality product, and now you are set up for success. Okay, I've talked a lot. You guys haven't talked at all. I look forward to reading your guys' war stories down below in the comment section. Have a good weekend. It's going to be a busy weekend. I'm actually sitting in my gym parking lot right now. It's going to be a busy weekend for me. I'll try to push out a couple more videos this weekend. I think I'm going to do one on sling, the importance of the sling and sling setup. I think I'm going to do one more video this weekend on 20-inch rifles for CQB. And then Nighthawk is also filming her series on medical, you know, TCCC, Tactical Combat Casualty Care, a medical series for you guys to get you guys up to date on for medical. That way you guys are kind of have a good refresher series with Nighthawk on, you know, the basics of chest seal, Israeli bandage, tourniquet appliance, etc. Right? So look forward to that. She'll be talking about all the stuff, right? March, major hemorrhage, aerial, blah blah blah. I'll let her respiratory. I'll let her kind of tackle that. Just look forward to her having a side series here on the channel. Okay, that's enough of ranting about holsters. Thanks for being here, guys, and until next time, it's gonna be Trench Grenade, your average T-Rex holster enjoyer for the right reasons that your mom said that we have at home. Signing out. Cheers.